Live from our culture studios in Blantyre, we bring you the lunch edition of MBC News. You're with me, Arthur Chokoto. Our top stories. Second Vice President Nkhani assures Malawians that the current administration will deliver its campaign promises. The Association of Environmental Journalists in Malawi underscores the need for concerted efforts in the restoration of vegetative cover in this tree planting season. And in sports, Mighty Wanderers begin their Castillo Challenge Cup title defense with vigor after walloping Extreme FC by 6-0 in the round of 32. Many thanks for joining us. Second Vice President Nkhani says he is hopeful that the administration of President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika will deliver its campaign promises. Nkhani said this at a Thanksgiving development rally he addressed in Rumpi on Sunday. George Mkandawire reports.
According to the second Vice President, his party and other alliance partners moved all corners of the country, preaching the message of hope, development and peace. He says now that they're in government, they are here to thank the people for voting President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika as a torchbearer for the Blue Alliance. Among other things, Nkhani said government has made sure that the country has enough fuel, fertilizer, forex and food. He has since ordered ADMAC officials to make sure that all central markets are open for people to access maize.
We have found a lot of problems. Number one, issues of forex, everybody knows, issues of hunger, issues of fertilizer, issues of fuel. And our President, Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika, he has tried his best to stabilize it. You know that now at least the fuel has stabilized. Now we're going to tackle one by one. First, he's going to look at issues of fertilizer. He's going to look at issues of forex. He's also going to look at other issues. We have to deliver what we promised to the people of Malawi. ADMAC depots, most of them, there's a distance, 5-10 kilometers, which most people cannot afford. So they have to open mostly closer to the people. In fact, it's good that ADMAC should be closer to the people because ADMAC is for the people. The people are for ADMAC. ADMAC is for the people, so they need to be closer to each other.
Speaking area, Paramount Chief Chikula Mayembe of the district commended government for making sure that the country has fuel, food, forex and fertilizer, among others. Among those present at the rally include Alliance for Democracy Afford Vice Chairperson, Reverend Morris Mundhali, Lumpi District Commissioner, Thomas Chigwenembe, Paramount Chief Chikula Mayembe, DPP and Afford representatives, among others. George Nkandawire, MBC, Rumpi.
Mayor for Blantyre City, Isaac Jomo Osman, has assured residents in the city of his commitment to promoting freedom of religion and association during his tenure. Osman made the assurance when he graced the unveiling service of Amazing Grace Christian Gathering Church theme for 2026. Ruth Chinangwa reports.
Blantyre City Mayor Isaac Jomo Osman was responding to concerns raised by church which complained that some council employees have been barring its faithfuls from holding mountain prayers at Nyambadwe Hill. In his remarks, the mayor emphasized that every citizen has the right to gather and practice their religion, and he promised to address the matter.
Everyone has a right to pray in any place because sometimes prayers help us. Like, for example, we have bad things that is happening for Blantyre. We need prayers. We need God intervention. So to us, to me as the city father, I'll go back to the office and see why these people are coming and chasing these people away. Because we also need people to associate with this kind of things. Because it's part of this. We have people who are doing bad things, but we are not going there to arrest them. When people are doing God calling and we go there and arrest them, that's bad. So we're gonna go and see why they're chasing them. That's what I'm going to do.
Speaking after the prayers, the leader of the church, Senior Bishop Chimwemwe Jafumuka, said that the year 2026 represents the season of reclaiming the blessings.
So we prayed as a ministry. I prayed to God, and God said, look for 5 years, things has not been good, floods, so you need to pray for recovery. So this recovery is not just for the church, but it's a recovery for the whole nation. So God revealed to me, then I shared to the church, and the church said, this is God.
Amazing Grace Christian Gathering started its operations in the country in 2004. Ruth Chinangwa, MBC News, Blantyre.
In another development, Blantyre City Mayor Councillor Isaac Jomo Osman has called on the private sector to join hands with government in alleviating some of the challenges that continue to impede the delivery of quality health services in several health centers across the city. Osman said the situation in some hospitals is difficult and government alone cannot manage to address the challenges. Chisomo Break reports.
Blantyre City Council has over 11 primary health facilities that face an increased demand for services due to fast urbanization. According to Osman, the facilities face persistent challenges, including lack of piped water, electricity, and old infrastructure. For example, Bangwe Community Hospital, with a population of 217,000, has only 9 beds, according to the hospital's in charge, Kennedy Lower.
The population for the facility covers about 217,000. So for a facility like that, having 8 beds in the postnatal is quite a very big challenge. The challenge is seen mostly when you have emergencies in the ward. It's very difficult to help a patient that is on a floor than patients that are in a bed.
South Lunzu Health Center is another facility facing persistent challenges, as Member of Parliament for the area, Veronica Ndalama, explains.
Most patients are even admitted and do not have a bed. They are forced to sleep on the ground, on the floor. So we hope that in the future we'll be able to have a bigger hospital with better beds. We also have problems with water. We're hoping that we get a proper water supply here at our hospital, as well as electricity. We're also looking to have our electricity backup.
To help ease the situation in the 2 hospitals, a charity organization, Faizani Global Relief Foundation, FGRF, has donated 16 beds to the 2 health facilities.
Hospital beds we are doing today is something we had initiated a few months ago, where we gave out some hospital beds to Queens, and when we were approached by Bangwe Health Clinic and South Lunzu Health Clinic that they were in need of beds and the medical facilities, they were facing some issues. So we thought, let us use this opportunity to come and give the very little we've got. Today we have distributed 8 beds at Bangwe and 8 in South Lunzu.
Blantyre City Mayor Councillor Isaac Jomo Osman, while commending the support from FGRF, echoed calls for more players to support the city's primary health centers.
We need to save lives. You see, at the hospital, don't have beds. Someone could wake up today and say that this is not important. This is very important, because a lot of hospitals, they don't have these facilities. So to us, to have this, we think, oh my God, it's what we need.
According to Osman, Bangwe and South Lunzu Health Centers are a few out of several facilities in Blantyre City that continue to grapple with persistent problems. This is the reason why the city's mayor continues to urge more players to come in and assist in the health sector. Chisomo Break, MBC, Blantyre.
Government schools have opened for second term today. A statement from the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology, however, says schools in Kota Kota will open on January 12th due to floods that have affected most infrastructure and are undergoing recovery. Meanwhile, the ministry has advised school authorities, parents and guardians to take note of the revised opening dates and continue exercising caution with flood-affected areas. Well, this is MBC News. Now a reminder of our top stories. Second Vice President Enoch Chihana assures Malawians that the current administration will deliver its campaign promises. The Association of Environmental Journalists in Malawi underscores the need for concerted efforts in the restoration of vegetative cover in this tree planting season. And in sports, Mighty Wanderers begin their Castillo Challenge Cup title defense with vigor after walloping Extreme FC by 6-0 in the round of 32. Moving on with the lunch edition of MBC News, the Association of Environmental Journalists in Malawi, AEJ, has underscored the need for all stakeholders to take an active role in activities for this year's tree planting season. Speaking to MBC, President of the Association, Titus Lindsay, highlighted the need for continued monitoring to mitigate the negative impact of climate-induced disasters. The government launched the current tree planting season on December 15 last year, and at least 41 million trees are expected to be planted this year, a rise from 40 million trees that were earmarked for the same period the previous season. Lindsay explains.
Our call as the association is to every Malawian to be responsible enough and take a very big role in making sure that we have planted trees that's around our homes. Time is here that we stop relying much on government to tell us what to do. It's our homes. Let's take care of them and let's protect them. These trees which are being planted surrounding our homes, they act as wind breaks. No matter how strong the wind may be, but if we have trees surrounding our homes, the wind will be controlled. The major problem now at the moment is that the winds find bare grounds, and it's easier for the roofs to be blown off. But time is here for mindset change. We need to change the way we think. We need to change the way we look at things. For how long will we be waiting for government to tell us to plant trees? For how long will we be waiting to hear a call from the authorities, MPs, councillors, mayors and whoever to ask us to plant trees? For how long are we going to keep on asking as to how much are we getting at the end of the day by planting a tree surrounding your house? Like seriously, we can do better. Why should we be paid for planting a tree surrounding your home? Why should we be paid for planting a tree around your area, around your village, around your community? So it's about mindset change. We change the way we think, the way we look at things.
Calvary Family Church International has challenged believers to align themselves with God as the source of all things. Apostle Dr. Madali Tumbewe, the church's president and founder, made the remarks during this year's thematic message conference in Blantyre.
The message to the whole nation, to the whole world, is that God is saying that He's the year of connecting with God. Everybody needs to know God and connect with Him. Connect with Him so that when we connect with Him, we can align our minds and our thoughts with Him. As a nation, we need to make sure we don't connect with other evil forces, other evil gods, other witchcraft and satanic forces. We connect with God so that when we do so, our nation will be saved from all the evils that will happen.
Commenting on the theme, knowing Him, connected and aligning with God, Liwonde CFC pastor John Lozani said it will help him and his church to align with God. The conference drew local and international dignitaries.
The theme was very wonderful, very encouraging, very true, and it has come at a right time. You know, connecting, knowing God, connecting, aligning ourselves with God, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. This is very, as a church, we lost it. But now, with this message, the theme of this year is very wonderful, and I have liked it. My role is to let the members know that we have to know God. You know what, my dear brother, nowadays people are selling themselves instead of selling Jesus Christ. Instead of let people know God, they are saying, know me, know my ministry. But this time around, let us know God. Let us connect with God. When we connect with God, everything is possible. We cannot achieve anything unless we connect with God. So this is a wonderful thing. I have liked it from the bottom of my heart. I have liked it.
And in sports, mighty Wanderers began their Castel Challenge Cup title defense style after walloping Extreme FC by 6-0 in the round of 32. Now the match was played at Aubrey Dimba Stadium in Mchinji on Sunday. Wanderers are now in the last 16 of the tournament along with 10 other teams. Now sports analyst Norbert Jameson joins us for details. So paint a picture. How has it been in round 32, the round of 32 actually?
A number of games have been played. Like you put it, defending champions Mighty Wanderers were among those teams in action. I would say, as you put it, 10 teams are through to the round of 16. So Wanderers were in a class of their own yesterday, beating Extreme. They play Extreme play in the Central Region Football League. So that's 2 steps behind Wanderers. Wanderers are playing in the Super League, and then we have the National Division League, and then the regional leagues. So too strong for Extreme. They are through to the round of 16, alongside other teams also that did well, the likes of Ekaya, Civil Service United, we have Karonga United, Kamuzu Barracks, all of them through to the round of 16. And we also have some of the teams from the lower division, teams like Shire Wimbe, we also have Airborne Rangers, as well as Ndrande Stars from the lower division that have also made it to the round of 16. So plenty of games will follow. About 5 matches left to be played this weekend. The likes of FC Binyasa, Big Bullets, Silver Strikers are in action this weekend to see who else will join Wanderers and the other teams in the round of 16.
Well, quite some opportunity for lower league teams. And we also heard that some big Super League teams found it hard when they were playing against the lower teams.
Yes, they struggled. Teams like Karonga United, Ekaya, as well as Civil Service United, they needed post-match penalties to go through to the round of 16. Not easy for them. Ekaya were playing in Taja United, who made life difficult for them. 2-2 at the end of normal time, and then the match went into penalties where Ekaya won. Interestingly, all the big teams did well against the lower league opposition when it came to post-match penalties. Sivo and Prison United also 0-0 at the end of 90 minutes in penalties. Sivo did well. Karonga and Lufita United 1-1 in 90 minutes in penalties. Karonga also progressed. So it looks like when it comes to penalties, these Super League teams have an edge over this lower league opposition.
But the tough fight signals some growth, in lower teams.
The beauty of cup competitions is that's what it is all about. Sometimes you see lower league opposition beating Super League teams. We haven't seen that yet, perhaps in the games to be played this weekend. But that's what we love to see. Small teams beating big teams in this competition. That's what brings the beauty in cup competitions.
Great. Now, moving on to the African tournament in Morocco. Where are we now?
Right now, we're in the round of 16, the knockout stages now. We have 4 teams that have already qualified for the quarterfinals at the moment. Senegal are through. They beat Sudan 3-1. And then we also have the hosts, Morocco. They are through also to the quarterfinals. And there's also Cameroon. They beat South Africa 2-1 last night. And we also have Mali that dumped out Tunisia on Saturday. So in the quarterfinal lineup, as it is at the moment, Senegal face Mali, while Cameroon will play Morocco. 2 more matches follow later tonight. We have Egypt versus Benin, and then Nigeria will face Mozambique to identify 2 other teams also to the quarterfinals. And then other matches will follow also tomorrow evening, wrapping up the round of 16, and then to have 8 teams that will clash in the quarterfinals of the competition. Slowly but surely, we are moving, eliminating other teams, and then men are being separated from boys.
Okay, and it's a moment of temptation for me. I say no, continue to shine in the Premier League.
Yes.
Sorry about that, it's just a smile.
And the news just coming in before we go to the Arsenal item. Manchester United have sacked their manager just now.
I'm not going to smile about that.
Ruben Amorim has been sacked.
I'm trying to be as neutral as possible.
So Arsenal continuing to shine, yes, top of the table, 6 points clear at the top at the moment, because Manchester City were held by Chelsea last night. While Arsenal won their match against Bournemouth on Saturday, it means Arsenal are on 48 points, Manchester City 42 points. So Arsenal extending the lead little by little. People would think when it comes to the new year, January, Arsenal would tend to struggle normally, but this time around it's the opposite. They are actually widening the gap at the top above Manchester City, who are in second position. So this could be the season for Arsenal. Who knows?
Well, no, but this is rich information for us. Thanks for the lunch in the sports segment.
And thank you for having me.
My pleasure. And in international news, Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro is expected to answer criminal charges, including cocaine importation, conspiracy, and terrorism, among others, in the United States of America. Now, this follows an operation that led to his capture by the U.S. on Saturday. Telson Magombo with the details.
The charges stem from allegations of running a corrupt and illegitimate government fueled by extensive drug trafficking operation that flooded the United States with thousands of tons of cocaine. Maduro's capture by U.S. military operation has sparked debate about legality of the action by China, South Africa, among others. According to U.S. President Donald Trump, Maduro's capture is expected to reduce acts of terrorism in the United States.
The illegitimate dictator Maduro was the kingpin of a vast criminal network responsible for trafficking colossal amounts of deadly and illicit drugs into the United States. As alleged in the indictment, he personally oversaw the vicious cartel known as Cartel de las Solas, which flooded our nation with lethal poison, responsible for the deaths of countless Americans, the many, many Americans. Hundreds of thousands over the years of Americans died because of him. Maduro and his wife will soon face the full might of American justice and stand trial on American soil. Right now, they're on a ship they'll be heading to, ultimately, New York, and then a decision will be made.
The Trump administration is expected to run the Venezuelan government until proper transition is made. Telson Magombo, MBC News.
And with that report, we come to the end of the lunch edition of MBC News. But before we leave, a recap of our top stories. Second Vice President Chihana assures Malawians that the current administration will deliver its campaign promises. The Association of Environmental Journalists in Malawi underscores the need for concerted efforts in the restoration of vegetative cover in this tree planting season. And in sports, Mighty Wanderers begin their Castillo Challenge Cup title defense with vigor after walloping Extreme FC by 6-0 in the round of 32. Well, keep up to date with our news coverage on all our digital platforms by scanning the QR code at the top right corner of your TV screen. My name is Arthur Chokota. Thanks for watching. Good afternoon.
What's your name? Gary, huh? It's my game.
We put everything into this.
Those that can do it and succeed,
how to fix it.
This city has been just a cookbook.
It's part
of being hit here
with the latest global news and insightful documentary.
Transition.
Understanding the
But if you ask them no.